The Eagles beat the Dolphins tonight, 31-17. Jalen Hurts was 23 of 31, 279, two passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. Did have that pick six. A.J. Brown, 10 catches on 15 targets, a buck 37 and a touchdown. Let's take the Eagles first. What did you like? What didn't you like?
You know what? At first, I can tell you in the first half, I thought it was going to be, before the game even started, I thought it would be a high-scoring game. I'm thinking 40, 35 some points, obviously with both offenses being high octane. Obviously, the Dolphins' run game was stifled in the first half. The Eagles didn't seem to be intimidated, with the challenge in facing Tyreek. Obviously, he did get away a few times, obviously scoring once. The Philly defense controlled the line of scrimmage, which was really good throughout the second quarter, and they really came on once the Dolphins fell behind in the second half, where the Dolphins had to throw the ball to try to get back in the game and try to make it a game, but obviously they couldn't do that. So the Eagles played decent football. Obviously, the turnover from Hurts, you can't do that. You don't want that, especially in a game of this magnitude. And if it wasn't for that defensive line and how good they were in the Eagles being ahead, it could have been a lot different. And the outcome of the game could have been different, due to that interception. But they played so well defensively, they were able to overcome.
Yeah, I like what I saw. They started getting A.J. Brown involved in the ball game late in the ball game, and I think that's where his frustration comes. He's like, guys, if y'all can get me the ball in the third and fourth quarter, you damn sure can get it to me in the first half. And you see in the first half, they were middling around. It seems like they couldn't get on rhythm. And the moment Jalen Hurts said, you know what, man, let me feed this man this rock, the offense started going, because the Eagles didn't run the ball as well as that. We know the Eagles can run the football. So I thought Miami did a great job of that, of taking away the run, because the Eagles want to run the football and then set play action up off of that. But I thought the Dolphins did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage as far as running the football. And they got after him also. Chubb had a sack. I think 15, I forget his name. On the other side, he had a couple of sacks. Phillips did a great job of pressure. As a matter of fact, he got a sack off of Lane Johnson for the first time somebody's gotten a sack off of him since 2020. So that lets you know what type of pass rusher that he is. But I did notice something early on. I saw Jalen Hurts limping. He scrambled, tried to got out of the pocket. He got a first down, but he kind of pulled up gimpy. Right. He came out in the second half with a knee brace. I don't know if anybody saw it, but I saw it. Because quarterbacks, if they're not customary used to wearing a knee brace, they're not putting anything on. They like to feel free. They like to be able to flew. Not just quarterbacks, everybody. Right. I mean, wide receivers doesn't like wearing knee braces. Or if you don't spat your ankles, you don't like having taped ankles or anything like that. You don't want
it makes you feel restricted.
You don't want to feel restricted. But I thought once he settled in, Jalen Hurts, once he settled in, he played really well. But again, we see that turnover margin, that interception is steadily increasing, Ocho, because last year in 17 games, he only had 6 picks. He got 8 right now, and we're not even at the midway point. So I'm sure that's something that they're talking about. They're constantly on him about, guys. As we get, the Cowboys are coming up here shortly. And the one thing, what did their defense do? They pride themselves on taking the ball away, putting their offense on a very short field.
I think one of the things you also have to notice is, obviously, that pick, it wasn't like someone was being covered and it was just actually picked off, but it was a tip ball. He was trying to get it to somebody, and Jerome Baker was able to get his hands on the tip ball. It was unfortunate. If anything, I think you could have just threw that one away, threw it in the grass, or whatnot. But on the Dolphins end, this is more of a win for them still, even though they did lose the game. To be able to keep a game that close, playing a team like that, and you didn't have Xavier Howard, you didn't have Jalen Ramsey, who will be back maybe next week or maybe
the week after.
The week after. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because the backups played extremely, extremely, extremely well for the Dolphins. And when you get those two back in your arsenal, who's knowing what that's going to do for your defense?
With 2 turnovers tonight, Jalen Hurts has 10 turnovers on the season. That's second most in the NFL, trailing only Desmond Ridder, who has 11. Last year, Jalen Hurts had 8 interceptions all season long, and he has 10 already. So turnovers, 10 turnovers total. He had 2 more turnovers tonight. Tua was 23 of 32, 216, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And I Miami's going to need to show me something against stiffer competition. Now, we see what they did to the Denver. We saw what they did to the Panthers. We see what they did to the Giants and the Patriots. Right. But when they step up in competition, the Eagles, the Bills, we see them get handled. Right. So in order for if they want us to take them serious, they're going to have to beat teams, because I'm not so sure how many teams that we think that they've beaten. We think the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. What about the Giants? What about the Panthers?
No.
Maybe the Chargers? No. Maybe the Chargers? Patriots? Maybe. I don't think the Patriots are going to make it. The Chargers, maybe. So
yeah, the Chargers are 2-4 right now. So it
ain't looking promising for them either. Right. So what we've seen is that when they step up in competition, remember they hang 70 on Denver one week, and then they get almost a 50 spot hung on them the following week. And then tonight, Philly steps on the gas, and all they see is tail lights. So Miami's going to have to pick it up when they step up in competition.
Right. I think the only problem with Miami is I think they need to start faster. They need to start faster. Obviously, when you're playing better teams that are really good defensively, like the Eagles, the first half, they were nowhere to be seen. They were nowhere to be seen. They were stifled in the first half. They couldn't really run the ball the way they want to. They didn't get in the flow offensively, is being able to throw it and facilitate the ball the way they like. There were no little dinks and donks, little passes here and there, but Tyreek didn't get going the way he could. Jalen Waddle didn't get going the way he could as well, until more so in the second half. I think if they start faster, then there won't be as much pressure. You don't have to play from behind like they were in this game.
But Tyreek did drop a touchdown. He did drop a first down.
Hey, listen, I'm not even calling that touchdown, that drop for the touchdown. He was moving so goddamn fast. Hey, listen to me. Tyree was moving so goddamn fast. He was bringing the ball in, and his knee hit the ball out.
But see, and I went back when he said a couple of years ago, I said this, I said that. Steve Smith Sr. and I, Smitty, we were on. And I said, I don't think Tyreek is a natural catcher of the football, meaning his hands, like a Devontae, like some of the great receivers that we've seen. That doesn't mean he's not great. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody does. I mean, some wide receiver might not have great speed. Jared didn't have great speed, but that didn't diminish his greatness.
Yeah, great. Jerry Rice had what football I like to call football.
Yes. Larry Fitzgerald. There have been Chris Carter. There have been some great receivers that didn't have Tyreek's speed. Right. He took it and said, well, I'm trying to diminish him. No, bro, you don't have to possess all the physical tools in order to be great. And I'm like, bro, I was thinking about it, like, bro, you was on my podcast. If you felt some type of way, you had me right there. You could have talked to me either on the podcast and said, bro, I want to run something by you right quick. Right. Or you could have talked to me after because, you came with your family. We talked, chew the fat before we got on the pod. So like I said, guys, if you got a problem with something I said, listen to the context in which I said it. I didn't say you weren't great. I said, I don't believe you are a natural catcher of the football, meaning hands. And that's okay.
I think he's okay. I saw him before the game today. I was field side. Obviously, I was doing, my little EA, my little Madden stuff, but I saw him before the game. Actually saw all the players before the game, and he didn't mention anything. He didn't mention anything about it. So everything was cool on that end. But listen, when it comes to catching the ball, obviously it's situational. There's some people are more comfortable
with the body.
Catching with the body.
And that's Ocho, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it is. Because there's one goal in common for all receivers. You got to be able to catch the ball.
At the end,
how you do it is on you, and it's based on the situation at the time.
Yes.